healthy relationships is all that we're about here at Black Vision Network, because relationships are a cornerstone of family. Family is a cornerstone of Black life and Black prosperity.
The number one tip that is the number one challenging thing for me is
Welcome back to another episode of Black Vision Network. I'm Theo.
And I'm Janae.
And today we are talking about conflict resolution. So we are going to start off with a couple of tips that we like to use and that we have found helpful to get us through some tough times. So Janae, you want to start us off with some tips you like to use to get you through some conflict resolution?
Yes, definitely. So the number one tip that is the number one challenging thing for me is to nip the problem at the bud. As soon as there's a problem and you have a problem with a situation, you need to express how you feel to the other party, whether it be your husband, your wife, your coworker, your friend, your family member. You need to let them know what the problem is. And discuss it with them, and don't let them go festering, because that just leads to more problems, and it's like a snowball, and the longer it goes on, the bigger it gets. When if you got it when it was this small, it would have been over and you would have saved yourself a lot of time.
It's funny you say that that's when you deal with, because that's actually one of the easiest things for me. But it brings me into tip number 2, because one of the second biggest things is understanding how your partner, whether it be your friend, your intimate partner, what their conflict resolution style is and what yours is. So using us as an example, my conflict resolution style, at least with my intimate partner, is I like to address things right then and there. I am of the belief, especially in intimate relationships, that the longer you let a problem sit there, and the bigger it gets. So it could be the smallest, most pettiest thing, but it can build and snowball into a very large issue if you don't sit there and communicate that issue right then and there. And so I don't like that. So I'm of the preference that you should deal with the problem, whether it's my problem, whether it's her problem, and we should deal with it right then and there. Yeah. But my partner's preference is sometimes she likes to step away from the problem. She likes to...
Let me explain how.
Good point. Good point.
For me, I like to think about why I feel a certain way before I go and talk to somebody about it. Because sometimes I'll talk myself out of feeling that way, and if I try to let them talk me into it, they'll just make me more mad. So I like to go and have some silent time, some reflection time, like not even silent time. Sometimes I'll go work out, I'll go on a walk, I'll read a book, I'll take a nap, just so I can think about a certain situation to see if I'm like overreacting. How should I approach them about this? And it kind of leads into the next thing, which is you're not supposed to expect somebody to read your mind. Because a lot of times in my head, I'm just like,
why are they acting like this? They should know that's not what I like.
That is a fact.
I'll be like, why are they not doing this? Like, isn't it obvious? And I'm just like, why are you like this? But I'm like, okay, I can't hold that against them, because I haven't told them that I don't like that. But I feel like a lot of us women, we're like, they should just know. But men, no, they don't know anything. I mean, they know a lot. They don't know a lot. I think when it comes to picking up, you have to spell it out for them. They're not gonna pick up on body language.
These imaginary cues.
Yeah, the imaginary cues, because they don't see them. It's just over their head. And I feel like, how women can tell when another woman is interested in a guy before a guy can tell? That's just another example. I feel like they don't pick up on it as often. But before we say it, we show it, you know, but that doesn't work for everybody. And you have to be able to recognize that you can't do that. And you have, like, you can't be mad or you can't get upset unless you tell them explicitly, this is my problem with you or the situation.
So my next big tip is, in life in general, but especially in conflict resolution, is not to expect you from other people, because you will be disappointed and it will make you more angrier. So if you are a person who is giving, you know, you look out for other people's interests first, you know, you go the extra mile. You know, a lot of times in a situation, especially with conflict resolution, you may say, okay, you felt that way, allow me to do this. You know, allow me to show you that this wasn't intentional. Or, you know, let me try to repair the damage that I've done through XYZ. And so, as a person who's done such, you may expect your partner, your friend, whatever, to do the same. And so a lot of times that doesn't happen. And so you sit on your hands and you're like, well, I wonder how long this is going to take for them to right this wrong here. And you'll be waiting for a very long time, because you can't expect the things that you would do out of other people. It will be a very frustrating life for you. Everybody is not wired the same way you are. And it will be very disappointing for you. You can't expect that. You have to treat people as they are. Treat what you get. The picture that you give, that they give, is what they are. And so that's what you have to deal with. That's what you will get. That's what you have to deal with.
So in conflict resolution, another tip that I have is to, you know, kind of detach your emotions from the equation, especially if it's somebody like you care about. You have to, like, because emotions can carry you away to a place you don't want to be. But emotions, they're a good guidance system to tell you if something's wrong. Like, if you feel bad, like, I know a lot of the times me and him have conflict because I feel terrible. Like, I just feel so bad. Like, I can't do anything, and I'm like unfocused, my mind is fuzzy, and I just don't feel good. And so that's like my inclination that I should go talk to him about this. And after that, once it comes to the real situation, you gotta detach from it so that you can actually solve the problem. Because in a relationship, especially like in intimate relationships, it's important to realize that y'all are on the same team and y'all are fighting for the same thing. So like, it's not a win, I win, you lose. It's not you win, I lose. It's we win, the problem loses. And I feel like coming at it from that point of view can be important. It shouldn't be like, oh, I have to be right so he can be wrong, or he has to be right so I'm wrong, or something like that. You both, honestly, a lot of the times, both of us are right. And it's just a different perspective that we never considered, and we're just like, oh, okay. So I think it's important. This is actually in one of the books I read called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it talks about synergy in the win-win-win situation where we all are fighting for us both to come out with, like, just both of us can win. Nobody has to lose ever. And I think that's important to have in relationships and in life.
It's good that you bring that up, because my next tip is you always want to end with next steps. So conflict resolution should always be constructive. You should never just be having a conflict for the sake of having a conflict. You want to end with a goal in mind. So if you're arguing because you're arguing because you want to get to a point B from a point A. You're not arguing to stay at a point A. So there should be outlined next steps of, okay, we're arguing, we're butting heads at this point because of this. Now how do we stop butting heads about this point, and how do we move forward together? Or we're butting heads about this and we haven't stopped butting heads about this. Let's mutually decide to split ways.
Yeah.
And one last one is, while you're engaged in conflict resolution, is feelings, emotions. It's very important if you value the other person that you're engaged in conflict resolution with to not validate your feeling, to not validate the other person's feelings. Because you can't tell somebody else how to feel. So yes, we all have intentions when we do something, but however those intentions come across to another person is not something that we can control. And so when somebody tells you how your actions came across to them, that is theirs. They own that, and that is their truth. And so if they are expressing that to you, you have to take that and you have to own it. And your decision is either going to be to say, okay, I'm sorry that it came across that way. What can I do to fix it? Or I didn't do that. And anytime somebody tells you I didn't do that, is not somebody that you're going to be able to engage in healthy conflict resolution with. Because at that point, they've decided that their version of the story or your feelings are not important. And anybody who decides that your feelings is not important doesn't think that you're important. And it's not somebody that you should be in a relationship with. So yeah, those are the tips that we have for healthy conflict resolution and healthy and leads to healthy relationships. Healthy relationships is all that we're about here at Black Vision Network, because relationships are a cornerstone of family. Family is a cornerstone of Black life and Black prosperity. And so if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe to the journey of Black Vision Network. We hope this video helped you out, and welcome to the journey.
Yeah, welcome. See you guys next time. Peace. All right.
Ready?
Yeah.